For this walk we're going to go up onto Wainwright's outlying fell of Walna Scar. Now we've come to the Duddon Valley and started from near Seathwaite. We're actually very close to the Turner Hall campsite, lovely little campsite set in the valley itself. And we're going to walk through the fields and pick up the Walna Scar Road, ascend the Walna Scar Road to the very top of the pass, and then we head right or south to Walna Scar itself, and then along the ridge towards White Pike, and we'll come down past the quarries, back down Walna Scar Road and back to here. It's not a route that you'll see in the outlying fells book, but it's just something that I picked up on the map and I thought it would be just a straightforward, simple walk. Let's go. We haven't had rain for about 4 weeks, but this morning it absolutely tipped it down. So we spent the morning in the car looking at maps, doing a bit of reading, just chilling, and then this afternoon it's brightened up. And look at the sun down there in the Duddon Valley. Nice blue sky, so we could be really lucky. Hopefully it'll move our way, and by the time we get to the top we might be in sunshine. But these things are prone to change. Let's see. As you can probably hear, today's rain has really filled up the becks. They were very low before now. But here we are at Walna Scar Road, and we're going to head up on the rough track here, which takes us right up to the summit of the pass, where we turn right onto Walna Scar itself. It is rough in places. It is an old drove road between Seathwaite and the Duddon Valley and Coniston. A nice gentle ascent up to the top. We've just passed through the gate on the highest intake wall, and we're about level with the old slate quarries on the slopes of White Pike. We'll be having a look at those later as we come back down, but now we follow the Walna Scar Road up there, and it contours along the side of Walna Scar itself to the summit, which you can just see in the little dip on the skyline. No sun here as yet, but as you can tell, it's got warmer. Jumpers come off. Bit breezy, but lovely day. And this is the summit of the Walton Scar Road. The wind's picked up, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me all right. And the way down there is Coniston. This neat path, which has replaced the badly eroded one, takes you up to Buck Pike and on to Dow Crag. And then in this direction is Walton Scar itself, the small summit, the outlying felt of Walton Scar. And really, this boundary here defines Wainwright's southern fell books here on the left as you're looking at it, and the outlying fell books here. This was his border when he did the Southern Line Fells. So Walton Scar didn't fit in the Southern Fells book, so it's now in the outlying fells. I remember coming up here some years ago and walking up towards Dow Crag on this path, and it was really a nasty scar on the landscape because the Coniston Fells are a popular route, whereas this path that's been put in place now, it's not perfect, but it's a really good job, and thankfully people are sticking to the path so that the rest of the vegetation has been allowed to grow over. Good job. So this path, which is much less used, is where we're going up to Walton Scar summit. This is the very breezy summit of Walton Scar. Beyond it, to the left, you can see White Maiden, that's where we're heading next. And then just to the right in the sunlight is White Pike, which we'll also cover. And then beyond it is Core, and away in the distance, is Black Combe. It's really windy now, but still a lovely day. Quite a well-defined path along the ridge, but if you stick to it and contour to the right hand side so the slope goes up to the left of you, you'll head up and end up at White Pike, which you can see over there on the right hand side. But we're going to White Maiden, which is the rocky tors on the left. The path is less distinct, so you need to fork off at some point, the point that we're at now, head up to those rocky tors. It's windy. There is a path, but as I say, it's less distinct. You'll pick it up, but it requires good navigation if the weather's bad. So that's White Maiden ahead of us, and then Tarn just here. You'll pass the Tarn, it'll be on your left as you head up towards White Maiden. So we've been to the top of White Maiden, which is the cairn over there. Unfortunately, right by it, there's a corner of a wall. It's a very old tumble down wall, but there's plenty of places where you can get a bit of shelter on a day like this, because it's blowing a gale up here. Even though the sun's out, there's some fantastic light and shade across the landscape, but this bit of wall provides just a nice bit of shelter to give a bit of respite from the wind. Every now and then when you're out in the fells, if you take time to explore, you'll find some little curiosity and unusual place that maybe no one else has mentioned. But I remember I came up onto White Maiden some months back, and it was a miserable day and I was looking for a bit of shelter, and I wandered down off the summit and I came across this, which is really old, probably a shepherd's shelter. Massive bit of rock here, and they've built a really nice bit of 6-foot wall here, and down here, nice grassy hollow, and it really is sheltered. Fantastic view as well, as you can tell behind me. There's the quarry down there, and then away down there is Coniston, all the way across right over to the Pennines. Fantastic view from here, and actually you can see just down there is the Duddon Estuary. Brilliant, and really sheltered. It's not flat enough to pitch a tent, but certainly you could take shelter out of a storm. Just a lovely little find, just thought I'd share it with you. So we've just left White Maiden, which is up there behind the camera, and then we follow the wall a bit, and after a short time you'll dip down into the Cull, moving away from the wall to the right to go up to White Pike, on which is a decent sized cairn. So we're just going to go round to the right slightly to get up to the summit. It is very, very windy, so hopefully you can hear me above the wind noise. I should say that there is a path. It's not very clear, but there is a path that goes up towards the summit of White Pike. But you don't want to be following the wall, because that cuts down to the left and then dips down sharply. So avoid sticking to the wall for a long time. You want to navigate your way up to the top of White Pike and not follow the wall. And now, just before the summit of White Pike, we've picked up the path, which is really a direct route between Walna Scar, which is over there, Walna Scar Summit, and White Pike. This path, is the one that we're on now, completely bypasses White Maiden, and it contours around the side of that hill. So it's just a short stroll now up to White Pike Summit. Just see it ahead in front of us now. I've just dropped down a little bit from the summit of White Pike out of the breeze, and now what we're going to do, we're going to go off route a little bit down to those quarries that we passed as we travelled up the Walna Scar Road, and we're going to have a little wander around the slate quarries, which are actually named Walna Scar Quarries. They're just down from the summit here. It's a little bit steep, it's not too bad though, but we'll find a safe route to get down there and have a little look around. Hopefully the sun will play ball and we'll get some good film, good photographs, and have a little wander around before we head back down to Seathwaite. I'd never been to these slate quarries before, but I had seen them on maps and in photographs, and I thought they'd be worth having a look into. They certainly are extensive. The quarry was worked up until about the early 1900s, and it was quarried for slate, which was used in flooring. All of this was worked by 12 men, 6 above ground and 6 below. As with all of these quarries, if you're going to have a look round, do take care. What an amazing quarry. The workings and everything around here are so impressive. You actually have to be here to see the grandeur of the whole place. But we spent too long, and the rain's now coming in. The Duddon Valley is getting a bit of a soaking. So the waterproof jacket's on, and I think the camera will have to go away, and we'll make a bit of a quick walk back down to Seathwaite. It's been a great afternoon. We've been very lucky with the patches of sunlight, but great day. I'm definitely going to come back here and do some drawing and maybe painting. But yeah, rain's coming. That's it for now. It was time to head down the road, but I was able to still get one really good atmospheric photograph as we headed back towards the start. Once again, I hope you've enjoyed the film. If you have, do click the like button, and even better, subscribe to my channel. But as ever, once again, thanks for watching.